Ruth 4 brings the story to a beautiful conclusion. Boaz redeems Ruth. Naomi's life is restored, and we discover that Ruth becomes part of the royal and messianic lineage. What began with tragedy ends with divine legacy. Let's dive into the first part of this chapter. Boaz settles the legal matter. Boaz goes to the town gate where legal business happened and finds the closer relative, the man who had the first right to redeem Elimelech's land and family. Boaz explains the situation. Naomi is selling land. Ruth is part of the redemption, meaning the Redeemer must marry her to preserve the family line. The man says, I cannot redeem it. It might endanger my own state. So he gives up his right, and Boaz is free to redeem Ruth. Boaz didn't just marry Ruth emotionally, he followed every legal step to do it properly. So, then we go to the second part, where Boaz marries Ruth. A traditional sandal exchange confirms the deal. The elders bless the marriage, invoking the names of Rachel, Leah, and Tamar, all women through whom God built Israel story. Okay, the community sees this as God's work, not just a private love story. The third part of this chapter is a son is born to Ruth and Boaz. Ruth gives birth to a son, Obed. The women say, Praise the Lord who has not left you without the Redeemer today. They say Ruth has been better than 7 sons to Naomi, a huge compliment in that culture, okay? So Naomi takes the baby, cares for him, and becomes his nurse. The woman who once called herself bitter is now full of joy and legacy, okay? So the fourth part of the chapter covers Obed's lineage. The chapter in the book ends by revealing Obed is the father of Jesse. Jesse is the father of David, the future king of Israel. And from David's line will come Jesus Christ. You can see in Matthew 1, okay? So what are the key lessons from Ruth 4? The first one is God can redeem any story. Ruth started with death and loss. Ruth started with death and loss, but ends in restoration, joy, and purpose. Second, true love acts with integrity. Boaz didn't cut corners. He honored God, Ruth, Naomi, and the law. Third lesson, no one is forgotten in God's plan. Naomi, once empty, is now filled with life and blessing again. Fourth lesson, God uses ordinary people in his extraordinary plan. Okay, Ruth was a Moabite widow, but became the great grandmother of King David and an ancestor of Jesus. Ruth 4 shows that what God redeems, He restores completely. Through Ruth and Boaz, we see faith, love, and law coming together in perfect harmony. It's not just the end of a love story, it's the beginning of the kingdom story, okay? Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I see you in the next one.